Turn 12 o'clock.
Let's go. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Las Vegas? And welcome to Face the Tribune with the legendary Rolando Larraz. I'm your co-host, Chris Garcia. Fantastic day. We're coming off a great day yesterday. Team Challenge had a wonderful car show out here. Beautiful cars out here. So many people. I wish everybody could have come. If you didn't, man, they have it annually. Look for it next year. But with that, Rolando, how you feeling today?
I don't know, I'm a little tired. Yeah. You know, all these trips back and forth and everything. But I'm okay. I make it.
Good.
I make it.
Good.
You know, I don't know how these people are going to keep going against Trump,
Yeah.
but it was 1201.
No, was not.
No? Are
No.
you sure?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, but anyway, I don't know why people that have a very thin skin can be in politics.
Yes.
I like Judge Amasi. I do like her. I supported her last time she was running 6 years ago. And I believe the newspaper endorsed her. But I don't like the idea of her being with a drug dealer. You know, it's not my cup of tea, even though he just dumped her. Okay, but she is on Facebook Live, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I asked the question. I said, "Is Munich Court closed today, or you on vacation?" And she replied to me that I am campaigning Mr. Larraz.
Oh.
And so I sent another message back. I don't know if it worked or not, because it disappeared from the screen, and I don't know too much about that. And I said I was under the impression. I said, Your Honor, I speak with an accent, but I don't think with an accent. I was under the impression that in order for you to campaign during office hour, you have to be on vacation or you have to leave on the leave of absence. But I didn't hear back from her. I don't know no more. And Nancy Pelosi was in the news today, blasting our president. So I don't know what she was trying to do with that. Are you waiting for a guest? Oh, so listen, maybe you're gonna have to do the show by yourself.
Oh, why? Where are you going?
So tell her to come in.
Okay.
Come in. I'm going to force you to sit here and talk to us in the radio.
Oh, you're kidding. You ambushed me.
I know. You should know that. This is Chris, my
Hi.
co-host, Tom Leticia. And come here, Tom. Sit here. Let's memorize your days on
You have to
television.
be prepared.
No, you don't have to be prepared. This is the most informal. I guess that's the reason why Bob Dia doesn't want to come back over here. I talked to him today. I said, Bob, did I do anything wrong? I love you, but no. It's just my campaign is too far from where you are. I said, well, I didn't know that the radio has to do with distance. There's no distance. I've got people now listening to me in Buffalo, New York. How you been?
Doing good.
Who are you handling now?
Well, I'm doing work for Kara Campbell,
For Josh?
for municipal court judge.
We were just talking
We
about
love
that.
Kara Campbell.
And you love Kara Campbell?
Yes.
We had an event and she was one of the people that we represent. How do you say it? How do you say it, Rolando? That we endorse.
Endorse.
Yes.
Well, she's a great gal and, tremendous district attorney. I mean, she spent 20 years working for the VA's office, which she still does.
I think this is the first time I endorse a prosecutor.
Really? Really? You go for the public defender's nominee or what?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. I think the public defenders are worse than the prosecutor.
Well, I don't know about that.
I gotta be careful. I know you like to get along with everybody, but
it's not a matter of getting along with everyone. I think they do a great job, and I think that there are people that need that help that the public defender provides. And what would we be like if we were a society that didn't have someone there to represent those that are in need?
But Tom, maybe I'm too cynical, but the same person that signed the check for the prosecutor signed the check for the public.
The tax holders, absolutely. The citizens.
So it's not too much. I know a couple of them that are very, very good, very aggressive, very fighters. I love lawyers that can fight.
Well, they all have a job to do, and good lawyers are going to fight for their client, and they can work on both sides. I mean, there have been many that have worked on the prosecutor's side and then moved over, to the DA side, to the public defender side, and they work equally as hard. I mean, our district attorney, Steve Wolfson, he was a criminal lawyer.
He was a prosecutor before.
Yes. And so he's worked on both ends, and you work as hard as you do. It's like playing on a team.
I'm writing, I'm writing an article about Steve this week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it or not, because I like Steve.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's done a wonderful job.
He's been here with his daughter, and, but I got a couple people that write for me, and they wrote the article that he didn't care for too much, and I'm trying to explain that to my readers. Steve had nothing to do with the Christine Lovatos case. He wasn't even in the district attorney when that happened. Maybe he could, but the same way that it is a blue blood for the police, they love it, or they used to love each other,
I'm not familiar with that case at all.
No, probably not. It's not. But the same way that the police stick to each other, the prosecutors do that. And Josh Vega, David Royer, Bill Kephart, and I try to stay out of that case because I like Bill Kephart. I don't care for David Royer, but I have to say every time I call him, he returns my phone call better than Steve Sisolak, your friend.
Well, I don't know where you are on that issue. I think Steve has done a good job. Sisolak, I think he's done a great job as chairman.
And I even told Catherine Cortez Masto when there was rumors that she was going to run for governor. I said I would support you if Steve Sisolak do not.
Well, I will say this, Rolando, and I, for the first time that I can remember in a long time, the chairman of the Clark County Commission has had a very significant role in leading that commission. And I think Steve Sisolak has been an excellent chairman of the Clark County Commission.
I like him.
He takes control of that commission, which is what you should do. I think the last chairman before him, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it Roy Reed before Steve Sisolak was chairman? But
no, I think
there was somebody in between there.
Mary Kincaid, no?
No, you're going way back now, Mary Kincaid. You're going back.
Okay, so
something
it was
like
one
20
of
years. But anyway, he's done a good job in keeping control of the commission, and just like a mayor should do, keeping control of a council. I think he's done the same for the commission.
Chris, let me explain you. Tom Leticia is an old-timer in Las Vegas. He used to be in newscast. His wife used to be a very beautiful lady.
She still is beautiful.
She's she didn't get ugly all of a sudden. She's still a gorgeous lady.
And he was instrumental in the campaign of Oscar Goodman.
Oh, good.
And he had Carolyn Goodman. And he has some good high-profile candidates.
Wow.
He's been around for a while.
Good.
And very quiet, very laid back. He don't like to. And also, he controlled the advertising for all the car dealers.
Oh, wow.
Nobody knows that.
I don't do that.
You don't do that at all?
I don't do that. I'm kind of more focused on politics nowadays.
Really?
Of course, the great thing about the car dealers was they're 12 months a year. They're always advertising, and of course, politics takes place. You have your municipal elections that generally kick in about December and run until June, which we're seeing right now. And then you have your even year elections that generally kick in around January.
So it's about the whole year too.
January through, or during the election year, they'll go January through November.
Yeah.
But after June, there's really nothing going on. It's a lot of people positioning, a lot of people making decisions whether they're going to run or not. And that's what we're going to see happen in the next 6 months, is people positioning. Today I read something about Mr. Duncan, who's going to be running for Attorney General. He kind of publicly came out. I read that in the Independent, John Ralston's publication.
Right.
I read something about that earlier today. So it looks like Duncan, who is the right-hand man for Attorney General Laxalt, has thrown his hat in the ring.
Yeah.
And he has made it be known that he is going to be running.
And they had some kind of event a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so he's going to come out as a favorite at this early stage. No other names have surfaced for AG. I know Avon Ford has discussed it. Of course, he's in the legislative session right now, and nobody's going to be making announcements on anything from that session until after it's over. So I think you'll see some names surface, though, when this session is complete.
Whatever happened to Ron, yours, right-hand man?
Which Ron?
Ron Garrett.
Ron Garrett, my old friend Ron Garrett.
What happened to him?
Oh, well, Ron's still around. I mean, Ron,
Last time I hear from him, he was at the Sahara Hotel.
Oh, geez, Ron left the Sahara,
before
5-6 years ago. He is in kind of a semi-retirement. He was doing work for Tony Sacca before Tony died.
Oh.
And Ron was like the producer of the show and helped him organize a lot of the business matters. And Ron's out there still, looking for things to do, but not looking to work as hard as he did back in his earlier days.
He used to work with
Not like you, Rolando. I mean, you still go.
Well, I'm only 46.
That's two, right? That's two, yeah. But you still go hard. A lot of guys do, and I hope to be able to.
But I'm like you. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Except this morning, I decided to sleep in, and I already saw your text message when I get to the business morning. Normally I am up at 4, but some days I like to sleep in just a little bit. Sleeping in is about 6 for me, though.
Yeah, me too.
That's sleeping in.
Me too. But, so you got Cara, and who else you have?
Scott Black out of North Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Scott is an amazing candidate who came
City
out of
Council.
nowhere. City Council, Ward 3, running against Anita Wood. Scott, of course, emerged as the leader in that race after the primary, won by 3 points over Anita Wood. Political unknown before the race started, and then he ends up beating the incumbent by 3 points in the primary. It's going to be a tough general election battle, though, and Scott's ready for it. Scott's a young businessman.
You got that one too?
Yeah, Scott's my client, yes. And then I'm also working on I'm helping with the Political Action Committee in the controversial matter that is taking place in Queensridge. One of my clients is Johan Lowy, who is the developer, and I represent him.
Is he connected with?
He's supporting Bob Beers. He's supporting Bob Beers in that race against Steve Soroka.
Good.
And I expect that race should.
If this Samson sent an email today, blasting that army guy.
I saw that. I think it came out on Friday.
Friday. Well, I wasn't listening.
I saw Steve's email about the credentials of Mr. Soroka or Colonel Soroka, and I guess the controversy, according to the email that Steve Sanson put out, was retired
wasn't there.
but it was there actually, but it was in the corner, but it was hard to see, and so that was Steve's contention, and then I think Steve also questioned the windbreaker that Mr. Soroka was wearing. He said it was a military windbreaker. I don't think anything's going to come out of this. At the end of the day, I think it's, there are rules though.
Well, because he probably close to Jack Binion and Frank
Schreck. Well, I know that Frank Schreck and Jack Binion supported Christina Rausch in the primary, and of course Christina Rausch spent close to $300,000 and didn't make it into the general, which I'm sure was a big disappointment for them. And I would imagine, not for sure yet, of course campaign reports haven't come out, they won't be out till May, but I would imagine that they would probably support Mr. Soroka in the general election. That's my assumption.
But let me ask you, without getting too deep into this, I'll say an expert, because you are an expert, in, at least in local politics anyway. Do you think the public is well served when wealthy people, powerful people support somebody for personal reasons?
Well, no, I don't think the public is best served when a group of wealthy homeowners get together and support a candidate for the wrong reasons. You know, Mr. Lowy has won on every front. He's won in city council meetings. He's won in planning meetings. He's won before staff. He has been given the blessings of the city attorney. He's won 2 times in court. He's got the documents that were signed by the homeowners in Queensridge are plain and simply in favor of it.
Wow, right?
Several years ago, and the homeowners in Queensridge signed documents that gave up any rights that they had to control that golf course, and gave Mr. Lowy the rights to build whatever he wants to build on that golf course. So it's going to continue to go in favor of Mr. Lowy. I mean, I know that these homeowners could attempt to slow this process
And
down.
that will prove Bob Beer right, eh?
At the end, Bob Beers will be right. He's already been proven to be right. And what's happened is.
Did you handle his campaign?
No, I don't handle that. I'm not involved with.
Oh, that's right. He's
I
a
represent the
Steve.
developer. I believe he's with Steve Forsythe and Lisa Mayo. I think they work together on that, and so I don't get involved in any campaign matters. But like I said, my client is Mr. Bowie.
Okay, excuse me. $20 million a year, I see want to order me around. You know. So,
He was
anyway, yeah, that's right. Steve is handling the Bob Beer's campaign. But I think that is something that should not be happening the way it's happening. I think if you have a good reason, I believe Bob Beer is doing a good job.
Oh, I do too. I think Bob
Bob
is doing things for the right reasons. He's following the law. I think the biggest problem that could take place if this thing were to go in favor of these select homeowners is that the developer would not be able to do what he wants to do with his property. If that is the case, then you would cause inverse condemnation, which means that the city would end up being responsible for buying that property from the developer. In other words, if that's what inverse condemnation is, where they would have to come in and they would have to buy the property for close to $250 million, which, by the way, it wouldn't be just those few people on the Queensbridge Golf Course paying that $250 million. It would be the taxpayers in the city of Las Vegas. That would be wards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Everybody would be paying. And that would be to save the view, perhaps, of a few select homeowners that live on that golf course. Now, here's the argument from them. They said they bought a home. They were promised certain things, which is not true, because their argument was, well, gee, we didn't know what we were signing. Well, you know, something, if you go into escrow and the title person hands you how many documents you sign?
Well, how do they say ignorant is not an excuse?
Well, when you sign something, that's our laws. I mean, if you sign something, you're responsible. And
you're gonna tell me that Jack Pinion don't have 2 or 3 lawyers that can look at that?
I think they knew pretty much all along, and I think they tried to shift this thing in their favor. The great thing about this is that Mr. Lowy has only built some of the most beautiful projects in Las Vegas. He built Tivoli Village, which was one of the most remarkable developments in our city. By the way, he built that during the recession, when nothing in Las Vegas was being built. Nobody could get financing, nobody could build anything. Mr. Lowy built Tivoli Village, which is probably one of the finest developments in our town. Then he comes back shortly after and he builds One Queensbridge Place right across the street. He put $1 billion on that corner of quality development. So now he wants to come inside that golf course and he wants to do the same. Queensbridge values have been going down because Queensbridge hasn't kept up with other first-class communities. So at the end of the day, he's going to do the right thing. Mr. Lowy will do the right thing, and he will win in the end. But there are some distractions right now in this political campaign. Trying to find somebody to beat Bob Beers seems to be one of those distractions.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's the whole issue. And
it's sad to see the system being
Holding
Well, what do you say?
up development.
Well, not only holding up development, holding up jobs, holding up the opportunity for people to work, but stopping a man, a property owner who has rights, stopping a man from doing what he's entitled to do. And that's what they're trying to do. So it's not going to happen. And I think Bob will get reelected at the end of the day.
I hope so.
And like I said, my client is Johan Noe. And after what I've seen him do so far, I am sure that what he does inside Queensbridge will even be just as magnificent at the end of the day.
When are you going to bring your daughter to this radio show?
My daughter has to work. She's got, they got to work for a living.
You know, that's exactly what I told Heidi Almasi. I asked her, I said, is the municipal court is closed today or you on vacation? So very sarcastically, and I like Heidi, I swear I like her. I endorsed her last time. You and I talk about why I cannot support her at this moment, and she wrote back to me. She said, "I am campaigning, Mr. Larraz." She never called me Mr. Larraz even when she met me. Then I was a little kid, And so I answered her back. I said, well, I was under the impression that in order to campaign, people that are already in office have to do it afterwards. Because I think that's one of the excuses that you have given me about Cara coming over here. They have to be done, and I have to beg this woman over there to record the show after 5 o'clock,
Well, there are rules for when it comes to campaigning. You have to campaign off-site. You can't be using a public office to campaign. So everybody has a certain amount of time available for that, and whether it be vacation time or whether it be a lunch break or whatever that may be. And, and I hope that all the people that are in public office abide by these rules. I know whenever I've represented a client, I've always made sure that they don't make any phone calls from a public building. They don't use any letterhead, stamps, or anything like that for anything.
I'm very careful about that.
You have to be,
As a respect to the office,
Yeah.
I said, call me later or whatever. I don't. I don't like to talk politics and
You should. And when you finish your job, when you work for the taxpayers, which you do in public life, you have a responsibility to give the taxpayers 100% of your time when you're on the job.
But Tom, do you think that the elected officials and the appointed officials that work in our government in all levels, do you think they look at the picture that way, or they think they're doing us a favor by being there?
I try to keep.
I don't want to put you in any.
But I always have these conversations with my candidates, and I try to let them know that look, this is a position. If you get elected for this, you still have to answer to the citizens in the community, and I don't think you can ever get too cocky or think that you're better than anybody. I think you always have to respect that position because the voters are going to get their day at some point. If you're an elected official and you've got a 4-year term or a 2-year term or a 6-year term, whatever that may be, you're going to have to come back and face the voters again at some point. And if just as you were nice and campaigning and going to events and shaking hands, you still have to do that while you're in office. You still have to be that same person. And of course, Rolando, you and I have been around a long time, and we've seen a lot of people change when they've been
elected. But you older than me, right?
Well, I hope not. I may act a little older.
Yeah,
but
we've been around.
But we've been around, and we've watched people. We've watched people get elected, and we watched them get into office, and then we've watched them change. And that's the part that bothers me the most sometimes.
It bothers me. Yeah, when you pay for all the time.
Because just remember who you are and never forget. And I always look at that seat whatever that seat may be, whether it's a council or a commission, or you're renting that seat for a certain period of time. It's not who you are. You're there for a short period, but you can easily be replaced.
And you're there to serve the people.
You're there to serve the people and nothing more. And by the way, the voters recognize when someone is working hard, that wants the job, that cares about the job, that is sincere about the job. And those people usually do get reelected. It's when you get a little too cocky and you start pushing your weight around. That's when
Is that why Harry Reid got reelected so many times?
Well, Harry Reid's another whole story. Harry Reid, here's the deal. Harry did what he had to do. Harry is probably one of the greatest politicians that have ever lived in the history of Nevada. And Harry wasn't always as liberal as he became. No. But if you're going to be the majority leader, and he was the whip before he was that, his job is to get the votes, and he did that. He was successful in being able to do that many times. But I've known Harry. And
did you run his campaign?
No, I never did. I never did. But I'm a registered Republican, and I voted for Harry Reid because of who he ran against the last election, and I was proud to say
about
when he ran against Sharon Angle. When Harry Reid ran against Sharon Angle, I voted for Harry Reid.
Really?
There's no way I would allow, at least with my vote, the state of Nevada to have someone like Sharon Angle, go into the U.S. Senate. I mean, we had a certain amount of seniority with Harry. We got things done. He was able to get a lot of things done for Nevada, and I'm still proud of that vote.
So you don't think they were in cahoots?
What do you mean in cahoots?
Harry Reid and Sharon Angle?
No, never. I mean, I think Harry saw a way to. He wanted Sharon Angle in that race. It was a lot. It was a lot easier way for him to win by running against Sharon Angle than it would have been to run against Sue Lowry.
Yeah,
he was a good friend of mine. And
but you don't think it was kind of strange for Sue Lowry to run against Harry Reid after all the ties that they have? This is something I never talked to anybody, and I'm curious about that.
Well, there's always relationships. And when you
remember when Harry was the chairman of the gaming commission, he is the one that avoided all the votes from the gaming control and the gaming commission and gave Paul Loudon the license.
You know, I'll tell you something. When you've been in this town a long time, some days you're going to be working with somebody, and some days you're going to be working against them. And a lot of years passed since the days that Paul was a licensee and Reid was the chairman of the gaming commission. Yeah. I mean, look at Oscar Goodman. Oscar worked against Harry, and Oscar was representing Frank Rosenthal back then. Of course, the movie Casino, with I think it was Tommy Smothers or Dick Smothers. One of the Smothers brothers was playing Harry Reid in the movie Casino.
Oh, really?
And Oscar was there with Frank Rosenthal, who in the movie was Robert De Niro.
I didn't see the movie.
Oh, that was a great scene of Las Vegas. And of course, you can still look at clips of that scene, how it took place back then, way back then. The original scene is still on YouTube. But as time passed, Oscar became mayor, and he built a relationship with Senator Reid, and so we worked together. Sometimes we worked against each other.
But you don't call that a real relationship, do you?
Well, it was a relationship in that I think
it was a working environment.
A working environment, sure. I mean, Oscar would call Senator Reid,
and he would take the call.
He would take the call because one was a senator, one was a mayor. So the relationships always continue, and I think if we're honest and fair and we are real about our beliefs and we're not always playing games with a hidden agenda, I think we can always continue to get along with everyone, including our adversaries. And I try to live my life that way. I mean, I run campaigns against people, and I became friends with them after the campaign was over.
Yeah.
And if you can separate the two and you maintain your
It's like boxers.
It's, well, like attorneys that go into court.
Attorney.
Attorneys go into court every day and they're fighting, with the guy, and then they can go have a drink afterwards when it's over with, when your case is done,
And sometimes it's even a little bit thin line.
Well, sometimes the grudge continues. Sometimes, in politics especially.
Not only that, I have reading about this judge that after ruling in favor of these three attorneys, they walk out of the courthouse to go have lunch, but they've been having lunch for a long time. You cannot stop something because you became a judge. But I think it gives the wrong impression.
Well, look, this is a debate, Rolando, that has been going on for many years. Should judges be appointed? Or
What do you think?
Well, I think there's a
Please jump in when you want to.
I'm learning a lot. I'm just listening.
Okay.
Well, I think that the process, I think it could be tainted either way, in some way. In other words, I think if you're looking for judges only to be appointed, then the political process comes into play. One party will dominantly pick their own party.
Right.
You see that on the federal level all the time.
Right.
So you have a
That's what I was
Republican
going to say.
president, he's going to bring in Republican judges and vice versa.
That's what I was going to tell you. And even though they have a very strong restrictions, because I'm kind of friendly with a couple of judges, 3 judges in the federal building, and they always tell me, no, we cannot go there, we cannot do that, we can, they are on the very, very strict, but that doesn't stop them from talking to somebody over the phone or talking to somebody.
Just always have to maintain your integrity.
That is very.
I learned a long time ago, Rolando, because we all run into situations in our life that sometimes we have to ask, is that right or wrong? And at the end of the day, usually you can come up with an answer. Somebody will approach you with something, and you're not sure if it's right or wrong. Sometimes you don't know what how the law reads, especially election laws. Election laws are campaign contributions. What represents a donation and what represents buying influence? You don't know. If somebody makes a donation to somebody running for an office, are they implying that they want something in return? And of course the law states is only if there's quid pro quo. In other words, if I come to you and say, I want you to donate money to my campaign, and you make a donation to my campaign, there's nothing wrong with that. If I come to you and say, I want you to make a donation to my campaign, and if I get elected, I'm going to do this for you, that's where you break the law, quid pro quo.
Yeah, but how many times do you find
Well,
to do that?
we had some politicians go to,
And that's why I never, I'm sure you know more about, I do, about Harry, the federal judge, Harry Claiborne.
I don't know a lot.
I don't
My friend
believe-
Oscar represented them.
Right, and they
And-
was friends.
And I didn't know the details of that, it was so many years ago, but
I don't believe there's such a smart, intelligent, coming from the bottom, like Harry Claiborne, is gonna make that stupid to make a deal with a known pimp in a parking lot. That's why the lawyers exist, to make the deals.
Harry Claiborne had a very successful career.
Very
For
successful.
many years, I understand back in his day, he was probably the best criminal lawyer in his town.
And the most well-liked.
And a very likable guy. And again, this is way before my time when this all took place. But again, people make mistakes. I'm sure Harry regrets what happened. He served his time in prison, and he died in prison, didn't he?
No.
But he came out and he died.
He died at his house.
His life was ruined. Okay, you just gotta think.
Yeah, but in a certain way, because during the Bingham trial, he was very active and he was very.
You know what a smart man told me a long time ago, Rolando? I was playing golf with a guy, an older guy than me, and a smart businessman, and he said, whenever you have doubt, put yourself in a position where you're sitting in a courtroom and the judge asks you that question. And because I used to have people in the advertising business, that would say, hey, can you use the music Rocky under my commercial? I said, no, that's copyrighted material.
You gotta pay for it.
Yeah, you want to pay for it, you're going to go pay the producers of that music.
Yeah.
And I think I remember the client one time saying, nobody's going to know about it. I said, I'm going to know about it. And I said, if I get called, if somebody decides they're going to sue, they're going to ask me a question. They're going to say, Mr. Letitia, did you not know this after 45 years in the advertising business that you can't use that kind of music? Or are you just stupid? You're one or the other. You're either a liar or you're stupid. Yeah. And so, you have to work through that process anytime in life. And I think we deal with things all day long in our life. And you try to live by a standard where you're honorable, you have integrity. And I think a good majority of the people that serve today, and I'd say a major majority, it could be 95% plus, have good intentions, they care, and they want to make a difference. And I just wish the process wasn't as nasty as it is.
It is nasty.
And that if good people stay out of the process because it is so nasty.
And I tell you, Tom, it is very, very easy when you act right, that when you're trying to circumvent the law or the ethics or anything like that. I tell this story to everybody because it's a very, very good example of what I said. Monty Levy, I don't know if you know.
I know Monty.
Monty is a wonderful lady.
Great girl.
She has a good reputation.
Yeah, she works for Rick Wright.
Yeah, that's right. And who else better than Rick Wright?
Rick's a good friend of mine.
Okay,
Great guy. And
I have a great respect for Rick Wright.
Yeah.
And I wrote an article saying that they was using her by putting her in a campaign fundraising for somebody that don't deserve to be tied to her because the other person was not as ethical and as honest as, but the lawyers who were doing the fundraising, they was doing it with the intention to build the other guy, their friends. And I was visiting Bill Kephart one day, and she walked in, and Mandy, I'm sure you know Mandy, Bill secretary.
I don't.
No, okay. She said, you know Rolando? She said, yeah, I know Rolando. He wrote about me one time. I said, no, I didn't write about you, but I wrote that you was too good to be tied to that other person. I don't need to put the other person's name down because I can see your position. You have to get along with everybody, and I respect you a lot to do that to you. And I said, they use you because they want a good name. They want, she's well liked. She is respected. She's a good lawyer. She got all the winning points to become a judge. Why tie it up with a judge that is not good?
I don't know.
And then Bill Kephart went like this, agreeing with me, and that's why I said when you do things, when you write the way I write with passion,
You're a good writer.
I don't know if I'm good
I don't know
at
if you agree with everything you say,
Well.
especially when you start taking off on me, but.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Besides, that was an ancient time.
But I can't get that off Google. It keeps showing up.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. For
Really?
some reason.
I didn't know what that thing.
You were mad at me then.
I think it was.
You were mad at me for a while because I didn't return your call or something. I don't know what it was.
You know, that's one thing that bothers me. But no, it wasn't that. It was about the Puerto Rican.
But that wasn't true.
You told me that.
Yeah.
And I believe, and one of these days, I'm going to put your side of the story.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, about 10 years later, I hope you'll put my side in there eventually,
It's
right?
been 10 years since Oscar.
Well, no, it's more than that. You wrote.
Oscar was there 12 years.
Well, Oscar was there Oscar got elected in 1999.
Yeah.
So we're talking like 17 years ago, probably 18 years ago.
I was a kid. You can know.
You were a kid. I'm going to hold that against you. Right?
Yeah. So let me ask you, is Marla still the queen of the billboards?
No, Marla sold.
Oh, she's retired.
She sold the billboard company, and she donates all of her time now to Jewish Federation. She is the chairwoman of the Jewish Federation, and
Her father's still alive, right?
Father Freddie Glusman is still alive.
But he's over there in California more than.
No, he's here now.
Yeah.
He was involved. He had a restaurant called the Ritz in
Over there.
Newport.
In
He
Newport,
sold
yeah.
that.
Oh, he sold it.
Yeah, he sold that about 5 years ago, and now he's been here 100%
Oh,
running the Heroes. And,
Yeah, because that was the hangout for Las Vegas people.
everybody used to
John
have.
Jones and
Well,
everybody.
you used to have. I used to always get a kick out of the Piero's because you could sit there in Piero's and you say, "There's the U.S. Senator over there, and there's the
mayor
one of
of
the mobsters over there." You know, it's like people loved it though. People loved the intrigue of Vegas, and they love our history.
I threw a party in my house one day, and in one room it was Tony and all those people, and in the other room was Robert List, your friend Robert List. I didn't know that you was Republican.
Yeah.
Did you run his campaign?
No, I didn't.
I helped him a lot in there.
You know, I used to do.
I don't think he remembers me.
Well,
because
remember
then
this, we went through some tough times. You know, I mean, when we were dealing with the mob,
Yeah.
those were tough times in Vegas. And I think Bob List was probably responsible for getting the mob out of running the properties in Las Vegas. I mean, you know, look, I've been here for 46 years, Rolando. When I came to town, up until the 80s or so, the mob ran all the casinos in Vegas,
Yeah.
and it was just a well-known fact. And
everybody,
everybody knew the mobsters were a part of our community, and that's just the way it was. If you've had any history in Las Vegas, but Bob List came in, and I think he'll attest to this, that he was able to, little by little, gradually, weed the mob out of ownership. And I think that was the years when the Stardust was fighting for their license, and that was the days of Argent Corporation and some of the major controversies.
and I tell you, some of those people were treated that.
Some of the people what?
They were not that good, you know.
Well, you know, it's funny, you know.
What was the name of that guy? Rosenthal.
I think the government
Can't
sometimes
stand him.
I think the government sometimes plays harder than some of the mobsters.
Oh yeah,
When
definitely.
I see some of the tactics that take place today, and the methods used, and that's why we opened this conversation by talking about public defenders, and it's good that we have people that have the checks and balances.
Yeah.
So I respect. Oscar told me that years ago as a criminal lawyer, when Oscar and I were running around in the campaign in '99, and we spent all of our time together, day and night. That's when I went to every single event and never missed anything. And 18 hours a day we spent together. But he told me about cases where he represented clients, about DNA evidence, and about clients that were accused of things they didn't do, and one man was executed, for something. Went to his death, still saying he was innocent. Of course, they all say they're innocent, but the checks and balances in our system
But after
are what makes America great.
I got deeper into into the system and the court system and judicial behavior, I tell you, I think twice before I doubt anybody that told me they innocent.
Well, everybody has a fair chance, and our judicial system, which is not perfect, no system is perfect. I think it's the best system in the world. I think the court systems that we have in our nation are as good as you're going to find in any country in the world. Absolutely. And we're very fortunate. I mean, our founding fathers.
Do you remember the fight between Steve Wynn and John Moran?
Vaguely I remember that, but I know they had a battle.
A very bad battle, and I tell you, I probably was one of the few victims of that fight.
How are you a victim?
Well, because John Moran wanted me to create something that didn't exist, or that I didn't know. I didn't know that Steve Wynn was connected to the map or not. And he said, well, look, we got a picture here of you with Charlie Myerson and Steve Wynn hugging each other and kissing each other. That was a wedding in the East Coast. I was the best man in the wedding. So they probably thought I was an important person. They didn't know that I was a little Cuban refugee. I was the best man in the wedding. And they flew me in and they flew me out. That's it. And they want me to create something, and I refuse. So,
well, again, you're going.
And I get along with John Jr. and the whole family. John and Goldie used to come to my house for dinner. That's why I was hurt when they did what they did to me.
Well,
and my sister was beat up
I didn't know
with a rifle. Oh,
I didn't know that. But you're going back a lot of years, Rolando.
Yeah.
And when you go back,
I've been here 60 years.
And you've been here 60 years, so you watched the town grow, you watched it change, and we all. If you came out of gaming, you
never worked in a gaming place.
You never did.
Never.
But the people that did come out of gaming, back in the 60s and 70s, that's just the way it was.
And they all came out working.
Well, I mean, it's been a great business. It's been great for our economy.
Okay.
And we're lucky to have gaming here. And
Very
we're lucky
much.
to have the kind of people that we have that run our properties.
And this is something for another show.
Sure. I didn't even know I was going to go on the air.
I think then
I just came by to say hello.
Hello.
And you put me on the air for an hour.
I believe. I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I believe that this economy is because of the great leaders that run these properties today, and we should thank each and every one of them for the contributions. Mir with MGM Properties, Sheldon Adelson with his properties, and Steve Wynn. Steve Wynn is the godfather of our city. If it wasn't for Steve Wynn and what he did in the 80s, we would be a different town today. So it's these people like that have had the guts that put it on the line and invest in Vegas
that's why I never could explain to myself why they allow gaming to spread the way that it is. We used to have a unique place.
Yeah, but you know something? We do it better. And,
definitely.
You're not going to go to an Indian casino and gamble. You're going to stay in Vegas for your gambling and your entertainment. Vegas is more than just gambling. We're a complete package. Absolutely, we're a complete package. Dining, great restaurants, great places to shop.
So, Chris, when you run for city council, here's the man.
I've been soaking this all in. I've learned a lot over this last hour. That's why I didn't have much to say. When you deal with a profession, you sit back and you just learn.
And he is the profession.
I mean, between learning.
Now, let me ask you before we close the show. Do you ever gonna forget what I said about you? Or you gonna
I
remind
already
me?
did forget.
Or you gonna remind me every time?
I'm gonna remind you every once in a while, but I'm only gonna do it, we're gonna joke about it. We're not gonna, we have no, you know.
And I thought you already bought me lunch because you wanna forget
I've
about it.
already forgotten about it. That was one story, one article.
Boss, take us off the air, boss. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
Huh?
we're gonna beat each other up. No. Rolando's my friend. He always was, by the way, but
Yeah.
for a brief period, he got mad at me about something, and now we're friends again. So that's what matters, you know. That's what.
Yeah. And at least we are together trying to help Kara Campbell.
And I
to
appreciate.
become.
And I appreciate.
And
you.
that's one of the reasons that I do.
And you supported Judge Kearns too.
Yeah.
Yes, I do want to.
I appreciated you being there for Judge Kearns,
I still have his sign in my house.
and I think you were there. I think you helped with my other client, Mayor John Lake. I think you said good
No,
things about him.
I never
You didn't-
met
you
him.
didn't- you didn't-
I never met John Lee.
Oh, he's having a victory party tonight, by the way, up at Texas Station at 5:30. You should come over and meet him.
You're gonna be there?
I'm gonna be there.
I may be.
That's why I got my suit and tie on today.
Thank you so much for being with us, man. I
My
learned so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
last hour.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I just walked in to say hi and I ended up on the radio.
Watch the Face the Tribune with the legendary Rolando Larraz. Google it. It'll be up on YouTube in a couple of hours. And once again, God bless America. God bless our troops. And Godspeed to Donald Trump.